welcome to the Playground Experience Live Q&A. I have here my co-host Williams, and it's
Aloha.
always in spirit. No, they go all the co-hosts, my nephew. That is here too as well. And Kathy D is in spirit as well too. There's been some loving and healing thoughts to her and energies her way as she is experiencing something right now that is helping her to ascend and go into the next level. So you see the title of it, we're talking about the slap, and we know the slap that we have heard all over the place. Who, as April said, who has not heard about the slap? But I want to always take it to the next level and think about it as a spiritual thing. We know that we're in the Aries new moon. And then also April was talking about it's the Mercury too, as well, that we're in. And so it's a newness going on. However, in order for us to kind of get into that newness, the universe in itself, in the way it was demonstrated between like Will Smith and also Chris Rock, we are getting slapped. So this morning it hit me, and it was like, you know what, think about it when we're talking about giving birth. And although it's not one in which modern day or these times, back in the days when they used to have children, they used to, when they came out, they didn't make any sounds, and they would slap them to get them to come back into themselves or to life to come, and that's a big shock. So Spirit told me, you know what, that's kind of what's going on with some of us that still are kind of like, I want to, I'm kind of stalemating, I'm in one spot. And so we're getting that slap from the new Aries energies to push us and catapult us to say, okay, it's time to become alive. Because some kind of way we have been kind of not like dead, but if we're not really awake or woke, we haven't became part of that. And so now what is happening is we're having a lot of things. Some things might have happened that has been very shocking. I can say even for my life, people have said things and like, whoa, where the hell did that come from? And it kind of shook me out of ego. And again, it's that last part of the ego that might be still holding on and thinking, hey, I know what's about to happen next. And they're really saying, you know what? I don't think so. No, you don't. Not so fast, because we got like a curveball, or we're going to come from left field on this. So, uh, with this Aries moving, I am a fellow Aries, so I know that Aries, we're also about that leadership, that drive, when we set our attentions on something, especially with that Ram energies, we hyper focused on it. We know how to be able to move forward over it, and we really don't care who gets in our way, because that's exactly what we want. So I'm gonna look at my cheat sheet. So Aries is active, ambitious, assertive, competitive, courageous, creative, enthusiastic, extroverted, free, individualistic, naive, self-assured, headstrong. The shadow is headstrong, impatient, pride, quick-tempered. So one of the things that really jumps off here is, again, that slap that I'm saying that the universe has, it might be some karmic things that we still are dealing with, person, place, or things that's going to help us, because some kind of way the universe says we have not been active. We have still been dormant, and we haven't been really moving on things like we should. And they want us to become more ambitious. Some of us have still been in that indecisive mode where it's like, I can take this way or this way. I can get with this, I can get with that. With this, or I can get with that. Wherever it is, this is where it's at. That's where universe is trying to tell us. But they want us to be assertive, because again, some of us have not been assertive. We've been scared, because a lot of times when we did make a move, it felt like the rug had been pulled from us. Competitive. This competitiveness that I'm picking up when I listen to that is really competing with ourselves. It's competing with our former self and competing with the person that we're supposed to become into. And there's a dying off of that. We have to kind of go through that cycle of the process. We got to find courage, because there's some things that Spirit is saying I'm trying to push you into, but we're scared. I got confirmation to really make that next step. And so we have to be creative in doing that, enthusiastic, because again, some of us have felt like we can't do it. And then extroverted, come out of our comfort zone and be free. This energies with the Aries moon is making us to really truly look and see it's about self. It's about, again, like I said, that selfishness. It's about that moving into the energies of understanding that it's all about team me right now. Just really making sure I'm coming out before I launch out there this new person that I'm about to. I still say that April is bringing on showers. It's some of us like spiritually being cleansed. I feel like some of us are really going to this point where we're being brand new, washed and cleaned, spirit. And then in May, things are going to actually bloom. I still feel that, and that's intuitively been brought to me. Naive. There's some things that we don't know that's going on behind the scenes. There's the illusions about things that we kind of got to get rid of. We don't have all the information, so we're going to really have to rely on our intuition and our spirit to know. There's a naiveness that they want you to have there, because some ways they feel like if you're blind, this is what my guys are saying, you'll be able to go into it, because if you see all of the whole scope of things and the pitfalls of things, you might not do any forward movement, because you're like, if I do this, that's going to happen. If I do this, this is going to happen. So the naiveness is a good thing. And then being self-assured, really feeling as if that, again, self-assured, that you are believing in oneself. There's a coming into a knowingness and a trust into that, what is called it, that fool's journey, where you really trust falling. You're either falling back or you're falling forward into things. But with that Aries new moon is about the headstrongness, that really, although it's a shadow, but working with it. Like, where are you being really headstrong about something? Like, it's something about your ideologies and your philosophy that they're saying that you're really stuck in, and you're like, I don't want to move from this. But spirit's like, well, we give you that slap because we want you to say that's not working. It's like a slap to make you come to yourself. And this is why some of these karmic things that might be popping up and happening to us that we might think that are bad, but spirit wants you to understand that it's not coming to be bad. It's really disguised as something good. And it really sit about it. You know what? You might even be saying to yourself, Dag, spirit really saved me that time. I'm so glad it said no to that, because in retrospect, when I think about it, I didn't need to have it in the first place. You know what? There's right that happened. I'm so glad that person showed their true colors, because I thought they was this way, but now I see that this another way. So being impatient, how to be able to trust the process, how to be able to trust divine timing. A lot of us are impatient about things. Pride, a lot of working on the ego. I heard a lot of videos talking about ego, and how we really got to have this ego depth. So this dark night of the souls might be happening. My spiritual team and guides are saying that, yeah, that happened, but we'll be able to bounce back and recover much faster. But they are coming. Dark nights are coming. Quick tempered. Got to learn how to not be. I went out today, and everybody I had seen that has been a little bit off. I don't know what this big trend that I'm seeing with other people, but just talking, and you have to find yourself like, I'm not going to engage with that. That goes back to Will Smith and Chris Rock. It's like, okay, did we really have to take it to that level of intensity? Yeah, I understand, granted, but there's been a unevenness of energies being met here. And I even personally have found myself, I had to run in at the school with the school secretary. And I was like, you know what? You can keep that energy. I'm not even gonna go back and forth with you. I'm gone. Good night. Have a nice day, and have a nice day, because it's been a lot, and I've seen that even happening with my mom taking the places. It's a lot of that going on, quick temperedness going out there. So you might even find yourself with this newness, and it's helping you to be able to be more grounded and saying how you'll be able to deal with those things. So that's my thing, channeling off. And I'll pass the mic over to April, but that's what I wanted to kind of bring in conversation.
Channeling on. No, I'm just kidding. In classic April showers style, it has the sky has grayed, it is drizzling outside, and a cool wind has picked up. So the rain she cometh, the change is coming. And what's beautiful about the winds of change and the reign of change is the Aries charge, right? I'm pretty excited because it does have me standing in my power. It does have me saying things I wouldn't normally say or do, not do, but something that I want to drive myself toward. I'm pushing myself out of that lazy energy. In fact, I'm not just pushing myself, I'm being thrusted out of it. And so when you're acting in the midst of what spirit is guiding you and your highest self that's pulling you towards it in its destiny, it starts you doing things and putting you in the right places and talking to the right people. And then also having you miss things that you think you want, but to show you, like she was saying earlier, that this might not be the right time for you, or this might be not right, be the right person for you, or they may be the right person for you, but this is the time for you to kind of clean up your energy and your vibration in certain areas, right? And you feel intrinsically more motivated to get your projects going, or at least starting to acquire the knowledge on how to get the projects going. When they say the student is ready, the teacher appears. Well, we're all starting to realize that not only are we students, but we're also teachers. And we may not be teaching the things we thought we were teaching, and we may not be learning the things we thought we were learning. So, this whole unveiling and self mastery is coming up, right? So the projects that we do are often people, we often encourage people to what? Go within, meditate, calm the mind. And what's interesting is the Aries energy, it'll get you going, but it'll also get you going with the inner work, right? So there's a moments where you just take your time to breathe. But then after that, you might just keep running and running and pushing because that's what you think you're supposed to do. But that makes you like a bull in a or bull in a china shop. Candy shop wouldn't be that bad. Bull in a china shop. And that's next season. So wait for that. But this one, what's cool about this setup and what I'm noticing is that, yes, we've got Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Aries. But what's going to come next is Mars or Venus and Mars are going to come in, right? So we're going to start to align with our power and everything as we're actually setting forward. So everything that you set forth in terms of creating and manifesting and writing, he wants me to change the video. Okay, I'll come change it in just a second, okay? A second is too long for him, you know what I'm saying? How many of us feel that way? How many of us feel like a second is too long? A second longer without my love, and I'll lose it. I tell you, I'll lose it right here. Don't you know I need monster cars 24/7 in the background? I need my lover just telling me, "You're so sweet, you're so beautiful, you do all the wonderful things for me." But I just have to wait 10 more seconds, and I'm gonna set this mother on fire if you don't let me have my man. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just So, divine feminine's off the hook, divine masculine stepping into power and clearing out things that are no longer working. But we're also learning to slow down and be graceful with ourselves, slow down and take the opportunity to enjoy the moment so that when we actually are fully involved in whatever it is that we want to be doing, we get to embrace it more wholeheartedly. So, this is going to be a tricky season, though, for people who are in denial. Can you unmute?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why the universe is spirited and the spiritual team and my guides have showed me the slap. It's like just like Will Smith and Chris Rock. I said art imitates life, whether it was real or set up or whatever it was. But you're gonna need that slap because especially for those who are not really they're in a state of denial and something has got to kind of hit you. And like I said, I can take this page for my own thing. Family member had told me in so many words something is like, I've been telling you this all along, but you didn't hear me. And the way they had stated it to me then, I was like, oh, okay, this is where we're going now. So I understand now. So like I said, I know that there people are getting slapped all over the world spiritually. It's like come to your senses. about what is going on. Because again, if you're in denial about it, spirit is like, again, denial about you being divine, or you've been playing yourself small or whatever like that. You're going to get that slap. You're going to get that wake up call. That slap is the wake up call. That's what it is.
And
So you're going to
and
get
what's beautiful about it is for those of us who are not necessarily bracing themselves for the slap, but understanding that the slap is going to be um, the slap is here, right? The slap happened. You're stepping more into your rebirthing cycle, so you'll be slightly uncomfortable, but you know that the world has everything for you. Your mother has everything for you, right? Your father's got all the support you need, and you're building those and rebuilding those structures for yourself within yourself. The harder parts of what's happening right now is a lot of the inner child work, a lot of the shadow work that's coming out of people. People are getting triggered left and right, especially since Aries is like loves to fight. Like it's not that it loves to fight. No, it loves to fight. And what am I gonna say? It does. It does. It likes the conflict because it gets things going and moving, and that heat and that fire. So
yeah.
it feels like it
It's
may
a
be raining, but it's like a war scene, where the guys like out there just like we're all out there just like yes, and it's all raining on us, and we're all glistening, and we're just we will battle our shadow selves.
right.
And then like what's interesting is the shadow self is actually separating, right? The darkness is coming off of people that and their trigger points. They're starting to see it. So even people who are going off the cuff, they're no longer sitting there thinking they have to justify it. They're more like, well, where did that come from? Or
Right.
they're having these moments of being able to reflect and say that was overly passionate for what really could have happened in that situation. So I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of people take time, but then there's also why does this person or this situation or this space trigger me so much? So I
Right.
think there's a big inner, I guess, conflict and finding out a resolution type of energies that are happening
Mm-hmm.
because we're no longer just taking it on the chin, anything, any of it. We're no longer just taking it. We're now standing up into a space where, okay, how do I actually get to be in the frequency of the level that I'm going for? That means I can no longer tolerate these parts of myself.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm in agreement with that. Yeah, because even I would say, even the incident that I had at the school, it was like, wow. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I was just surprised that I had stuck up for myself and say, okay, you stay with that. Have a good night. I'm not going to go join you with that. I didn't really been there and done that. I'm looking at you and saying, where's your hurt? What's coming up for you that you keep on showing up this way, or what is it that I need to learn? And so, it's like to really that's not who I am. I know that energy. I no longer resonate with that. I don't want to go there on that frequency anymore. So like you said, again, that's good. I like how you said it surprises you when you do. I did have another incident when I was like, wow. And I was like, okay, goodbye. You do what you got to do. Click. And I was like, okay, wait a second, where did this come from? So it has been a little bit. I want to talk Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
yeah,
Like
very
it,
much so. And it's almost like they're splitting, but they're fighting each other. Like I can see you now. Like
right.
there's an like I know that I slow myself down through a habit, but it's not even my habit. It's a learned habit
Mm-hmm.
from previous generations, and so I hear now the voice separate. So it's almost like it's mimicking my voice as if it's a negative self-talk, but it's
Right.
almost like, dude, you're so harsh right now. Like you're trying to be so needed right now that now I'm seeing that you ain't really me. So what are you doing here right now? Because we're not doing this right now. Like you slowing me down. I'm trying to deal with that right now.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
then it was like, oh, am I internalizing some kind of struggle that's actually something that came from something else where I was mistreated or whatever? I'm going to go ahead and just handle that. Then you can just beep, beep. You know what I mean? Get on the road.
Right.
Just beep,
Yeah.
beep, you. Just beep,
Yeah.
beep.
You're right. You're right. You do have that in and out. It's like, it's almost, and you see that in movies where the person's there and then you see another person, and then that person steps out themselves, or they stop at the camera and they leave them and the other person, and they like, okay, now this didn't make any kind of sense. Did I just say what I just said to that person? Okay, so maybe we need to kind of rethink about this again. And then they step back into the body, into that. So that's why I kind of see that kind of like, see, that's what's been happening. Just like, I'm so glad I'm not by myself. It's like, okay, I know you're hurting, but did you have to stop on the parent like that? Like, okay, well, you do what you got to do. Bye. Click. I'm like, damn. They go that Aries fire, but I'm like, okay, what you got, but issues. But anyway, but my thing is like that has been going on, and I guess that's what they want us to do, and that's what they talk about, the competitiveness in the Aries. It's not really competing. Competing is like a really looking and seeing about how these two energies. I got to thank you. How these two energies are competing from you. It's like you're trying to go forward and backwards at the same time. I'm seeing them like a person like tied with their shoestrings tied to this other thing. It's like, I want to go left. No, we're going right. No, we're going left. And it's like, okay, we got to get rid of this, or we got to stop, untie ourselves. So then, if you want to go right, you go right by yourself. And if I want to go left, we go left. It's the energies of that is competing and going against that. We're not getting any forward movement. So again, like you said, it's time for us again. That's that self evaluation and an analyzing ourselves to say, okay, how about those moments like that going off on the parent? Did you have to, or did you? Maybe that's something that you need to do. Maybe we didn't even check our shadow on that, or like you said, did I just say that? Oh Lord, where this come from childhood childhood wounds? What is this about? So those moments there will help us to understand that how we can get more forward movement, how we need to either come together or be less critical, or show compassion to our shadow self to say, okay, it's all right. Or maybe, do you need to apologize in that moment, or do you need to just say forget it, take a step back? So that is really, like you said, this coming out yourself and really looking and analyzing has really been a perspective that spirit wants us to do. Like you said, the breathing exercise to really come into self of doing that. So I'm totally with you on that. I just can't believe you even said, well, I should know that because we on the same sometimes wavelength. So I was like, but it has been, because I couldn't believe I said what I said. So yeah, that's really has been, and I think spirit said, and that's what we want you to do. We want you to self analyze this so you can really become the individual that you need to be.
Now I'm gonna go back to the referencing of the slapping and the birth, right? Because this is such a heavy Aries beginning of the zodiac take charge kind of thing. This is being rebirthed, right?
Right.
And so in terms of the slap doesn't actually have to happen.
No, it does not.
Okay. So
Right.
when I home birthed my baby and his father caught him, I was like, I didn't hear anything. So I was like, is he breathing? Is everything okay? He's like, yeah, we're both so high emotional, right? It was I just birthed a child,
Mhm.
birthed my first son. And it was just like, oh, he's fine. He's just looking around. you know, making an assessment, just looking, breathing fine, just like, whoa, you're the dude, huh? That's the mama, babe. Right? Because I turn around and they hand me the child, put the child on my chest, and then I like daddy cut the cord and they went to go kind of clean him up and weigh him on the bed while I birthed the placenta, which is like a whole nother story, which we can also add to the metaphor, right? Because you have all these things, these nutrients and all this stuff that served the purpose of your old life, right? And for your mother, because the midwife treated those for me, and it dried it out and encapsulated it, but it gives you your hormones and your energy back, so you're not having too heavy of the fluctuations. It also helps stop bleeding. So when you first, because you have an organ inside of you that detaches, right? So you have to be able to stop that bleeding. That's one of those causes of death that people aren't really careful. If they're not careful, they're not considerate about. That's one of those things where the mother can lose so much energy. Like we made a whole human being, so it taps a lot of your systems, right?
Okay.
So when I birthed the placenta, you're like, I don't think I can do anymore. I don't think I can birth anymore. No, you just got to get rid of this old little organ system that fed you. that fed. And now it's not as, it does kind of help. If it helps with the mother system, that means it helps with the child system. And it's supposed to help the milk come in a little bit faster and all this other stuff, because it takes 3 days before there's milk, right? So
Okay.
there's almost like a 3 day, not fasting, because there's still liquid that comes out, and colostrum comes out at the third day, but there's still liquid and stuff that comes out. But they're so concerned about that. But the child is fasting sort of for 3 days until the milk comes in, and then it's okay, I can begin my new life, right? So we're going through, let's say, a little pre-Easter. We're going in. We're going to do a little fast. We just got reborn. Now what do we want to actually consume? We want to consume the higher levels of our consciousness, which means we want to take in higher amounts of nutrients. We want to give ourselves plenty of rest and patience. We actually kind of want to set some direction. We're not just going out there all willy-nilly. We're intended on what we are actually stepping toward, right? Because before, maybe that old paradigm, that old nutrient source, you gave too much energy to too many people. Maybe you didn't listen to your instincts all the time. Maybe you wanted to fall back into a depression or a woe is me kind of situation. And now we're becoming new, right? So the new you would be like, no, I'm self-assured. I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. Or even if I don't know what I want to do, I know I trust spirit to lead me there. I know that all the inner child work that I'm doing is going to pay off. I can feel a little uncomfortable, but I've been through the most as a child and as an adult. Exactly. I'm no longer going to play small with myself. That's beautiful. Gonna play big, doing it large this time, right? We're gonna be seen this time. We're gonna be heard. And I know I'm worthy of being heard, right? Because I was birthed. Somebody birthed me. The universe birthed me. The earth birthed me for herself, right? And she's gonna, I know she will provide, and the universe will provide everything for us. Now I just get to trust it and keep moving in that process of the new me, the new birth of who I am. Yeah, so it's crazy, the rebirth thing. My son did not need to be slapped. He was just cool. He was just like, "This is what all the hubbub was about. Huh? This is what the you guys brought me here for what?
Right.
What are you doing?"
Right. And so it's like, okay, part of me remembers this place, and a part of me is like, oh, okay. Yeah, what you say that is the slap is really not needed. But if you're believing that the Nile is the Nile in Egypt, we got a problem because again, there's some things you know that is not working. And in order for you to get something new happening, we have to end these cycles and we have to start doing something different. And a lot of times it starts with a step and actually just making the decision to actually say I want to start doing something different, and you've got to put some forward movement and some action behind that and the work. And I think some of us are saying I want something new. I won't say it's anybody that watches on this channel. I just say it's some other twin flame or light worker friend that you have that you listen to them, and a lot of times they keep on talking about they want the change and I want this, but you don't see them actively doing anything. And you know, it's like we have to stop that where spirit is saying, no, in some areas, some of us are like that where we don't, they stop lying. But some of us are in some areas, and we do sit there and they say, I want to change, I want to change, I want to change, but we're not willing to put the action. So a step forward, like a foot, I'm seeing foot being shown. Step forward in order to be able to make it happen. Um,
And
I'm gone.
I was just thinking that this season though is forcing people to confront themselves.
Yeah.
Like there's you can try to run and hide from it, but it's gonna keep appearing until you are it frictions itself out, and that's where the slap is coming in. Like you're running right into the hand of the universe to be slapped with. You know what I mean? Stop running around. Slow down. Take a deep breath and just look around and realize you are alive. You are becoming. You are this new you. Every moment that you keep stepping into it, you're stepping out of that old paradigm and shifting. Whenever you say, okay, I'm going to look at this, it may be uncomfortable, but I'm going to sit with it for at least 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you can give yourself that space to actually allow yourself to feel. You want to feel, because the feeling is what's going to allow you to utilize the light body system, right? Because it's, what is it? It goes emotional body, auric body, or emotional body. What was I trying to say? Oh man, I gotta find my list.
But you said emotional to etheric or whatever. Emotional, what you was talking about?
Yeah, you start to bring in the light body energy because they're all light bodies, but you start to channel it in with the emotion. And
Oh,
so we're being forced into a place of, how does Aries fight? Aries is the god of war,
right.
right? So that means that they're not just some little soldier, a pawn on the chessboard. No, it's not even the king, I would say. I think it's more the queen, because she can make all the moves. Hello, that's what we do. What we do. That's why we're born in these avatars with the. Anyway, no, it's a new era. It's a new beginning, and it's through embodiment of the emotions. What is this emotion telling me? What am I? Oh, I want to dance right now. Oh, I feel really small right now, and I've been holding that in. Oh, I think this is my opportunity. I know I can help these people, and I can see that they will receive me. So this is that time, because there's strategy. Aries has strategy. And Aries, being such a god, also understands and can predict other people's moves. And what Aries
Preach,
and what
preach.
what Aries has this beautiful balance about, because it's very similar to Mars energy, right? So we're looking at the planet of Mars, which is going to come into Aries after Venus, right? The lovers, they're hand in hand, they're flowing through it, they're going through the land. You know what I mean? And they raise all kinds of hell. So your passion, hell and heaven, right? Together, we call that Earth. I don't know. I think it's more heaven on earth than hell, but that's just my perspective. And by golly, I just keep seeing more proof of it every time I agree with that. But, merging your what you call demons or dark side and embracing that. Yeah. So you like to eat rich, not so good for you food, but you make it so beautifully, you know? You know how to balance that out with a healthier eating style as well, right? So you can have your decadent meals, but then you also have your balance with your high nutrition light meals. You also know that you can move your body, right? And all of these things working together create the strategy of you entering into your, your new era body, that you really just want to be popping off with grace and ease, versus I'm going to guilt myself about this, I'm going to just struggle with that. And then all of these hormones, emotions ruin your progress, because cortisol itself is going to put on belly fat, right? So if you're going to eat something decadent, but you know it's not good for you, then you also know how to strategize to get the body you want, which is, okay, I'm going to drink some extra water, I'm going to walk an extra mile a day or something like that, and this is all going to balance itself out. You know what I mean? But it's also not overworking yourself, right? Because if you go into battle tired, you're not going to win. You're gonna be triggered up. You're gonna see all the old world stuff, and you're gonna think that's what it is. That's what it is. It's that old thing. And you're like, no, I feel like pretty new right now. Honestly, every step I take, every decision I've been making, it feels pretty new and authentic. And it's also realizing, because for me, I gave my power away. I like to, because generosity and, blase blah, the old paradigm of, and if you self-sacrifice, then maybe it's still not going to help somebody else love you better or treat you right. When you self-sacrifice, you get to turn, that's in my turn. So now I'm even learning how to do boundaries with children, right? Because I'm my son, and he's used to mommy whenever he wants. And I want milk now, go do this thing now. And I realized, okay, one, I probably must be talking to him like that, so I need to, one, curb that, right? Because he needs to know that that's not how you actually talk to people to get what you want. Two, I need to set boundaries so he understands I'm actually a person, right? Because your one relationship is a reflection of your other relationships that you have out there. And so this new mommy, right? Because women, we wear many hats, we play all the games, we make all the well, we don't play all the games, but we make all the moves in the game, right? So the mommy hat, mommy now has where to set boundaries, and we're gonna also teach you how to understand your own emotions and communicate effectively. Right? That's just a couple of aspects as an example of how that facet of me has shifted into this new era. Also, what about April the woman, April the divine goddess, April the healer? All of these aspects of me are having upgrades and shifts and changes as well, and I'm stepping into it. So I'm not getting slapped so much as I'm the one slapping.
Hold on a second. I'll slap myself. Thank you.
I'm gonna slap myself.
I was slap. I like that better.
I enjoy slapping them. And Freaky Friday
Freaky
edition. Here we
Friday.
go.
I'm driving.
And I'm back.
Now you slapping that area, that's all right, but not the face, not the face.
Keeping it pretty. All right. We're not messing up. We ain't messing up.
No, that's up to faith. That's the money maker. But it was right. But also I found out with these energies too. Like today, speaking of eating what you want to eat, I had wanted and indulged myself. I wanted a double fillet of fish. Everybody know how much I love. That's my weakness. That's my go-to. Well, I will comfort or I want to reward myself. So I wanted that and large fry my sweet tea. I love my sweet tea. And so I went on and I went talking to mom. I was like, well, what you want? She's like, well, I said, I know you don't like anything in McDonald's. She's like, no, I don't like anything in McDonald's. So I was like, okay, well, I'll swing over. I said, I can't have some fish. If you want that from your favorite place, I'll go with you. So I ordered two dinners. And so I got there, Grubhub bought it, and only bought one dinner. And I was like, okay, I could get upset about this, or I say, you know what? I said I had wanted that. I said I had a taste for my filet of fish meal, and I double tracked and went on there and did something to make mom happy, people pleasing. And I said I should stuck with what I had to. The universe intervened, gave me that slap and said, "You going ahead? Hey, be quiet. You go ahead and I'm going to gift you with what you said you actually had wanted instead of going ahead and stop going back and giving in to somebody else's what they desires and what they had wanted." So I thought that was interesting how the universe, and I ended up going and go get it. And I was like, okay, that's all right. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just say, Grubhub, give me my money back because they didn't give me the second dinner. And I'm going to just go on ahead and go get what I actually wanted. You'll find the universe will be doing that too as well. Some things that you had set up and you had wanted and you had backtracked and you were too scared to move forward to actually get, or you might say, no, I'm going to go ahead and satisfy somebody else's need. The universe is going to push you to go exactly in the direction that they said that you wanted to. So this is where this Aries energy is like, okay, this is where you are. This is your targeted path in which you want to go, and that was your desire. You're going to find that also showing up too as well, rather you want to or not. I think a lot of times I feel us almost like they're behind us and we're literally like this, like, no, I don't want it. Stop pushing me. And the universe is like, I said go. And like, no. So we're going to have those moments too as well where the universe is going to be actually pushing us and saying, it's time. You said you want this newness. You keep asking for it. It's like a person saying, I really want them red, but I really want me some Louis Vuittons. I really want some. I should get that Louis Vuitton. I got the money to. No, I shouldn't get it. No, and then the universe is like, like a friend said, girl, if you talk about them damn Louis Vuittons one more dang on time, I'm going to scream. Go ahead and get it. You got the money. And so just go ahead and treat yourself and give you what you actually, your heart's desire. So this is where, again, where the universe is. And it's like that good friend and say, here, get it. Stop talking about it. Go after it. So that's going to be another way of nice, like I said, the awakening, making you awaken. That is another way that the universe with this Aries things was just targeting you and pushing you and putting you on the target. It's like the big target thing. And I'm saying it's like an arrow. They push you back and you go choo, and you hit right on your target. That's another way in which universe and spirit is going to show up too as well.
It really is putting you in alignment with honesty, too, right?
Yeah.
Because that's also part of the Aries. It's like we're fighting for truth and justice and being because the 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 planets and the stars and how all of that system works is authentically. So there's no inauthenticity in the universe. There might be some shadow aspects. There might be some like what do they call it, retrograding and stuff. But everything is in its entirety an authentic system. The
Mm-hmm.
question is, are you in harmony with it? Are you in harmony with yourself? And the parts of you that are not in harmony make um, almost like a dissonance. So
Mm.
when she was talking about her story about the meals, there was dissonance there. And what's cool about Aries is like, well, I'm gonna fight for you too, to have you in your authenticity, which means we're going to take off all the stuff that was superfluous, which was the giving into someone else's
Mm-hmm.
request, which wasn't really giving in. It was more like, okay, well, this just might make life easier. And it's
Right.
like, it's not necessarily about making it easier. It's about getting what you want and being okay with what you want. And it's okay to ask for what you want. And it's okay to kind of demand what you want and be who you are. And if it's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be, because it's not like when you went to go get the fish fillet meal, they didn't have it,
Right.
right? They had it. Sometimes they sell out. You know what I
Right.
mean? Sometimes they are out of stuff.
Right.
So it would have been a universal. You don't even need to be eating that, right? Because she's putting people in check too. Like, oh, did you not supposed to have that ice cream or that shake? It's gonna make you sick. I'm gonna make you so sick that you remember it. And that's the kind of stuff that's been happening too, where people are
Right.
going back and okay, moment, I'll come change it. So, oh, he's falling out. He must be exhausted. Full on baby mode. He's not. He's on me too. Look at him, the little shadow. It's gonna happen. She's gonna change that channel. But it's clearing out those spaces of inauthenticity and where you're resonant, and it's gonna keep pinging. And for a lot of people, it's gonna feel like a slap. Like, did you mean that? I don't think so. You're still saying it. Really, Linda? Are you sure? Okay, Linda. Are
I sure.
you sure? No.
I sure.
I was always sure about you, baby. So as he tears down the set, I always knew you were a game changer. Could you just change it on a global scale and let you stop hitting it? You're gonna hit your head a bunch of times. Aole. Aole.
Yes.
So and so, that's also kind of what's coming up too, is you're gonna keep hitting your head on something that isn't functioning. And you have to be willing to walk away from it. Like some of us might not be inclined to do something anymore. Like let's say you drink every night with your friend or partner or something.
Right.
A lot of us have been moving into this frequency where we don't want to eat as much, we don't want to drink as much, we're not attracted to certain things, we're attracted to other things. And so if you find yourself in that position, the universe is going to show you how to be empowered enough to just be like, no, I don't need to do that. Because there's no real actual peer pressure. Your friend's going to love you the same. Everything's going to be fine like that. But you're going to have that strength, that inner strength to just keep moving forward and hold the line for whatever it is that prayers and stuff that you set. It's also giving you signs of life, right? Especially in areas of your life that you've been working so hard for. It feels like relief keeps coming in, the energy of satisfaction and
Yeah.
relief and being on the other side. it's the old paradigm of not having enough has to come faster, all that stuff that's getting shifted out, right? Because
Yeah.
we're taking the time within our suffering to learn that suffering is not necessary.
Very right.
So, I mean, it's beautiful in the same way that it can be uncomfortable. Like you find yourself creating the life you or writing down. Let's do this exercise. In honor of Kathy D, I'm going to give a writing exercise,
Oh,
a journaling exercise. We miss you, Kathy D. We hope you're feeling better.
yeah.
Uh,
Right. See,
so
I'm
you
picking my pen. We are
write
like,
down what you actually want. Don't put any. No. Okay, I'm gonna say don't, but I'm gonna stop myself and say, where do you find yourself hesitating and saying, I don't think I should ask for that. I don't think I should have that. And I mean, um, society says that's wrong, or this takes away from somebody else. Where is all this ideal stuff coming from? Because the earth herself, she knows she has no lack. A mother always makes it happen for her child as best as she can. So the earth is going to provide for you the best as she can. It's the powers that don't be right, because they're trying to say that there's not this ideal can't happen, this is you know precious resources. The only resources are really time and attention. And so when you give yourself time to dream, give yourself time to love yourself enough to say, I actually want these things. I found that some women, right, it's very interesting because the traditional roles are coming back. Like, I know we're going into understanding and accepting the third sex, which is like a huge broad range, right? But ancient societies always had them. That's not really the issue. The issue is allowing ourselves to be how and what we want, right? Some of us don't want to say we want to get married. Some of us want to say, um, because divorce rates are so high and blah, blah, blah. And maybe they don't want to get married. I don't want to put pressure on my partner. But that's not what we're asking. We're asking you, what do you want? Do you want to get married? Great. You want to be in that committed partnership? Cool. Or you just want a really big kick ass party? And that's cool too. I mean, because everybody loves a party, especially this little guy. So draw out this weekend while we're stepping into the new earth. What is it you want? You want that to be so comfortable with your finances that you can travel wherever you need. One moment. One moment. Can you
oh,
practice
no.
patience? He said no too. He said he can't practice patience.
Un momento.
What do you want to create? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? What is the highest way you can envision yourself? And then when you're done with all of that, relax. Don't put any pressure on yourself or the universe. Know that your petition, your prayer has been heard and is being answered. And then, like, do your best to be open to receive it. There's a lot of things that I can say, like, don't do this and don't do that. And, just let it go. Or, because a lot of us push it away, push what we want away with our doubt. He becomes like a full on gummy bear when he's tired, just so you guys know. It's really interesting. I was like, oh, I do that too. Where I'm just like, here I am, I'm awake, I'm doing things. And then as soon as you lay him down, they're like, if I were to take a car ride, he would be like unconscious. Mustard truck. Okay, baby. So what is it that you get to let go of? And you'll start to see things. You're going to get immediately tested, first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get immediately tested for you to hold open the gate. So I want to receive $1 million, let's say. Okay, well, Now someone's gonna say, you need to pay $360 to get this done. And you're like, but this is my last little bit of, and I don't, and I can't, you know what I'm saying? And like that resistance right there, that is what the universe is saying, oh, well, she's not ready to get that million then. Because it turns out when she pays the 360 to do this, then it's actually she's gonna end up driving here and she's gonna find out, oh, this, that, and $1 million. You know what I mean? I know that was a vague concept. Fish sandwich. We do the fish sandwich. Okay. I want a fish sandwich. Oh no, mom don't want a fish sandwich. I just want to make this easy. I don't want to pay two Grubhub fees because of forget that noise. And I'm not trying to drive around all day, whatever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? Like the universe is like, nah, we want you to have that fish sandwich because we want you to be in that state of ecstasy and happiness and fulfillment that you have when you have your sweet tea and your fish sandwich. Like that's all we want. We want you to be in that state.
Nirvana.
So now it's like, okay, yay, I get to have my fish sandwich anyway.
Right.
All right, well, let me not keep having him hold on to his. He's clearly Ariesing out right now. Let me.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta take offense to that. Yeah, but so um, for Mimi, this came to me. Several things. Okay, one of them is that the cravings for the ice cream all the time is because that's a childhood memory, and it might be something of comfort that you want to, again, like a childhood, wanted to kind of regain and get. So, what your exercise, I would say for you, it to do is, since you want to wane off of that, because at the same time I'm being picked up and it's telling me that you're denying a part of you, just like with me with the filet of fish sandwich. Although it may, again, calories is not good for me or whatever like that, and I don't even look at it like that because if I want, I want. Um, but the thing is, like, if it's excessive, like if it's every day, I'm going to order, like every day I want my double fillet of fish meal. I kind of know that it's something not right. And you know the difference. Sometimes your body does want that same thing. I remember one time all I wanted was fish, 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 fish. Well, I wanted to make a fat. So I understood that was a different thing. But when you are wanting, you craving that, we need to go into with you is a way of getting yourself anchored into that feeling. So the next time when you have that ice cream there, think about the feelings, the sensory of everything. You having the ice cream. What is that feeling? What is it attaching to? What is it like your childhood? Or, is it making you feel good, that euphoria, or whatever this comfort that makes you feel good in your body? Then I want you to, again, take that feeling and then find yourself anchoring into that so that you do it without the ice cream. Because what we need to do is to reset you to understand that you don't need a physical thing to kind of like a battery. A jump starts you to feel all right, or that euphoria of into your body if you're wanting it constantly over and over again. It's okay you do it as a reward system like I did. Okay, I want filet of fish because I've been doing really good. I've been doing this and this. I've been pushing. Go get you that. That's your reward. But for you, I'm feeling like, again, we've got to learn how to take away. It's like that. It's called positive. Uh, Not positive, but oh God, it,
Reinforcement.
there you go. Thank you. It's a positive reinforcement, and we need to take that out so it be moves into more so an intrinsic thing. So you need to sit, and it's an exercise that I do too as well about love, where you sit and you feel, you think about what it is without the ice cream when you having ice cream, the feeling of it, and then send it all through your body as that, so that, and say, and each time you breathe in, you settle into that feeling to let you know that that is your core anchor feeling, not the anxiety, because you have anxiety too. It's not the anxiety, is that's your core, not the anxiety.
So I think she's frozen. Can anybody tell me? I mean, I know she's frozen. Am I frozen? I'm not sure it's frozen. But yeah.
Right, and so
So
to do that, ain't been doing all that until I do that. Look at the interference. Get thee behind me, Satan, or whoever it is. So my thing is, yeah, anchor yourself into that and let it filter through and become, and let your body know that this is who I am. These happy feelings in the air is I'm bringing it into my body. I'm becoming one, and that is my. That's who I am. That's who I be. So go on, April. Go and take it away.
She also corrected and said that it wasn't ice cream; it was ice.
Oh, I, whatever. Okay, I'm on
So
top.
what I was told about with crunchy
Uh huh.
foods is that it's anger, repressed anger.
Okay.
So if you take the same principles that she was talking about and you apply that, especially if you're looking at from childhood, go back to where's all the stuff that's making you angry? Where are you holding yourself back? Right? So typically when you want the ice, what's happening? Right? What is triggering you into wanting the ice? Are you not saying and speaking your mind? Are you feeling repressed or oppressed in some way or fashion? Are you just kind of overloaded with that situation and it's making you agitated? Because crunchy is supposed to be anger because it has to do with the jaw and
Yeah.
releasing the jaw, right? So like there's something that's like brooding in you, like maybe you feel unheard or uncared for properly, or maybe there could be a lot of things that coming through and that make you angry, and it might be everything at this point because you have some other underlying anger that needs to be released. So you can release it the way she was saying, in terms of processing it through the body, right? So realizing that the anger is not you, right? We were talking a little bit earlier about how the energy or the voice or whatever it is, the emotion is not you, it's external, right? And then once you realize that that can be manipulated and you can also turn it off, which you don't really want to do. You want to be sensitive to your emotions, right? You don't want to be dead inside. Like so many people from television. But that's not the point. The point is to process it, right? So you let it go through the body and realize, okay, that's not me. Why are you even here? Let's dance with that, right? So then, like, oh, you're popping up now. Let's go ahead and look at that. Oh, you're popping up now. Well, let's go ahead and then, if it keeps, because it's a pattern, right? You've been doing it for years, months,
Yeah.
long
Here.
time. She's been
Yeah.
doing that.
For about a year. About a year.
A long time, grinding her teeth, basically, right? Gripping the jaw, like that anger, like the seething, So like, then you can go into the what's the earliest repression that you felt? What's the earliest point where you feel anger? When you think about certain relatives, do you feel anger? When you think about situations for your child, where is the most triggering one? Let's say, and then go through it and say how should it have happened? Should you have been stood up for? Should somebody have protected you? Should that person have been self aware enough to know that they were projecting something on you that wasn't accurate? Were they pushing some kind of societal norm on you that was not a thing? There's a lot that you can release through that process. Also, let's see, Spirit, what do you have to say about Sweet Mimi or anyone in the future audience who's watching this? Dance. Turn that into a light-hearted situation. And if you think about, our bodies are more like crystalline structures, more like energetic fields, right? So wherever you're feeling stiff in your body, when you are also deciding you want to get this, and don't be mad and don't repress your ability to chew ice. Chew the ice, right? Until you don't want to. Because one day, when you're doing this work, you're just going to want it less and less until you're not doing it anymore. You might actually just want water. You might just want to hydrate and move things. Because when things get stuck in a stiff position, it's kind of like ice, right? Yeah, how are you feeling? You feeling better after that? You're noticing, and don't judge yourself about the ice. She said
That's
she
right.
was dancing. Don't judge yourself about it. I mean, just acknowledging it is a huge thing. But knowing that you want to stop it means that, yeah, you're ready to release the anger. You're ready to release that association from the childhood and go into the newness. And this is a perfect time to do so. So yes. Okay, so it's like crystalline structure, right? So when something is fixed, it cannot process or move through. So the movement, the creating of the heat that allows it to come through. So when you dance, you cannot really hold that anger. I mean, you could try, but you don't move much, right? You know, you ever been mopey and just try to dance, just like dancing my sorrow. Oh, wait, and you curl up, you know, you stop moving, but you got to keep. You're like, oh, I stopped moving. That means I'm holding it. I'm holding the energy. So when you keep moving, gives it some avenue, your body, the light body, to like actually move through and alchemize the emotion and shift it into something else. So when you do actually view it again or feel it again, it's not as intense. And at a certain point, you'll want the thing that you've been craving or utilizing less and less. And this can go for anything from like sorrow, like depression. Like depression is a symptom of an unresolved issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it's also like laughter is contagious. I think depression can also be contagious.
Yeah.
So whomever you're around, are they like
Yes, Lord.
bringing you down? Now, I was thinking about Eeyore, and I loved Eeyore as a kid, but I was also kind of like a depressed kid, so like whatever. But he was always my favorite, and I was like, somebody just give him a hug. That's literally all he wants. He wants to be invited places and given hugs. And maybe somebody should set him aside and say, hey, we're having a positive time here. Why do you feel that you need to well, he was never a worrywart. He was never like bringing the party down. He was just genuinely just solemn. I mean, but that's how he
Oh,
sounded too, and it's like he doesn't even have to be sad. He could be saying something happy, but everyone thinks he's all depressed because he's just like, I sound like this. That's how they
let's
wrote my
go
character.
to the party.
It's a
Let's,
beautiful day outside.
let's get Freaky Friday.
I just came.
Hey. Slap my
Ooh, poo after dark. That's even worse. I'm gonna leave
that
that
felt
one.
good.
Oh man, oh man. But there's plenty of ways to encourage the movement of the energy so it doesn't feel like a slap. It feels more like a dance. Unless it's a booty slap on the dance floor. Oh, get it. Oh, sexy, sexy. Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I have to play that song.
Ain't nothing wrong with doing the butt all night
You get
long.
to go back. Mimi, I'm so excited for you. Go back and look at some of our older episodes and learn the bubbling up technique and the magic and the alchemy is super strong in those episodes. So when you go through, there's all these wonderful energetic exercises that I because I almost did one every what we were doing 2 a week or something
Yeah, we were
for
doing
almost a
it. I'm
year.
telling you, we were doing this stuff. I mean, it's again, but you know what? It's what you saying about your authentic self. The universe is also going to make you feel like, hey, I don't want to take on that. You fight said, no, nope. I got my own stuff to deal with. I ain't taking on yours. I don't need those. Nope. It was my DM and I've adopted too. That's not what we're not gonna do. So that's not what
and
we ain't gonna
and
you
you're
can't
learning. Sorry, we're
yeah.
learning, or like the universe is providing plenty of opportunities. uh, there's no right way, honestly. It's when you feel it. I mean, you instead of a bubble, you could have it be well a box, a reflective box.
Or try
You could have it be
a pyramid. Some people say put a pyramid around you.
oh, a pyramid's a nice one.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I think I did a whole
That's like
pyramid. Oh, I did a whole pyramid elevation.
yeah.
Just he's so long. I'm trying not to get.
Yeah, so that's
Mommy,
another way
mommy.
to do that. But I didn't know whatever, and I'm glad. I don't know where I got ice cream from. I know I love ice cream. I didn't think about ice. I never could understand. No, lady in my job talking about no shade, and she's Aries too. But I've never have been one that could get into. I'm like, why do people want to chew and eat up ice? I don't get that. I don't get the craziness about that. But again, I see that, and I know there's a lot of people that like to do that. That chopping and all that stuff. I thought, oh, look like it makes your jaw up or whatever like that. But I guess that's why I went to ice cream, something more softer, more soothing. But and when I heard April put it and correct it, it still need to be alchemized or either shifted in the body, whatever way you're doing about the dancing and things like that to move it. Because if it's your body that's telling you to chew it up, then take your body and kind of take that energy and say, let's do something happy, old school dance or something like that, and put on the video and see how many old school dances you can remember, or
Even
something.
try to like what would be a cool challenge is dance, be dancing, and then try to chew some ice and see if you even want to do it.
Oh, that's a good
And you'll find that you don't want to be.
one.
It would be like it would stop your body from having that ecstatic joy, right? That ecstatic movement of energy.
I can't even do it. I know I'm doing it in my mind. Like, oh,
I used to like to chew ice. I had a lot of repressed stuff going on.
what the
And I feel heard. I feel appreciated. I love y'all. I hope you feel appreciated too.
to you ladies, the past 2 weeks, I felt like walking away from all the work I did up until now, but couldn't. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you had them on. That's why I was talking about the slide. We all have gotten that. It's been the up and the down thing. You say I'm going to put this on hold for a second and then come on back. And it's like, okay, I feel like playing with it now. And it's okay. Right now it's really about that self compassion and giving you whatever you need in the moment of whatever it is of self love, being that positive selfish right now, selfishness. Right now is the key to being truly who you are meant to be and just being the best version of me that you can be at this moment. So we're going to wrap it up at this point. Thank you so very much for you all coming on the playground experience and listening to us. Make sure you click like, share, and subscribe to this channel as well. We did the what simulcast for the month of March. We're back over here on our regular station for the month of April. Until then, until I've been guided to do so as anything. So don't forget about April and her book, the Yoni. And what else are you doing over there? You got a program? Are we looking on your
Yeah, I have a
YouTube?
program coming out called the Yummy Yoni program. And
Yeah.
then I also have another program coming out called Medicated Meditation and Masturbation. Coming to you April 20th.
All right then. Yeah. Don't be shy about what society calls the so-called what I won't even put that out there to program you. Open yourself up to different avenues and different ways because again, that what was it? She said pussy power, that other her name Dr. Nicole something. And she always used to say, that's where your manifestation comes from having the orgasms and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff you could be mad at, some mad stuff you could be from doing that practice. With.
And I'm going to say a side note, about society. They keep promoting masculine ejaculation, which makes them lose their mind, honestly. It makes them very dumb. And it's not because we don't love them, but it just takes their energy away. But
Right.
for women, how we stoke the yin energy, I'm not saying that they don't need to ejaculate every now and again to clear the pipes and stuff, but they build energy when they have retained their semen. Women need more orgasms to keep them warm, to keep them flowing in their in the ultimate creation of their power, right? And also puts them in higher alignment with the divine.
Yeah, so I mean that is something you need to open your mind to explore about that. So I'm saying 100% behind that. I know even with my own practices, that one that's something that you need to incorporate too as well. It's a whole different thing where echelon that they put you to. With me, hey, if I'm here, any services that you need, readings or if you need anything past life regression, I've been getting people coming for sessions again for that, just to go back into your life to see about what patterns are showing up now. I always say around your birthday is always good time for you to be able to get you a session to kind of see where you need to go next. about that, or anytime you feel as if you need to get a session to kind of really got some questions and things are not coming together, make sure that you get you another session too as well. With that, and then the MAT sessions too as well. I got to work on that. I got to get myself practice into that. But definitely, those things I've been getting a lot of people readings, just kind of knowing where they're going, what their person is, and then also about past life regression. So hit me up on that. All right, then, April, get us on out of here.
Stay blessed, stay golden, and remember, you were made for this golden life.
All right, then, it is always stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste and Nama go. All right, then, until next time on the Playground Experience, we'll